The next speaker is none other than Ms. Sarah Munyi, who is a corporate speaker and trainer. Allow me to introduce Ms. Sarah Munyi, who is going to take us through this particular session. And she's going to look at business, strategic change, and managing through volatility. She's a life coach, a corporate speaker, change management consultant, and a thought leader. Her passion is to inspire change and make sure that individuals excel, companies and organizations through purposeful living, inspired talks, and experiential training. She's an ardent speaker in the areas of change and change management, personal growth and development, personal branding and business etiquette, effective leadership, purpose and self-actualization, youth mentorship, and ladies and gentlemen, she has quite a number of awards. I can talk and talk until cows come home when it comes to her profile. For now, let her make her presentation and put your hands together for the next speaker, who is Miss Sarah Munyi.
Perhaps we can also appreciate our moderator. He's done a good job, and I think we always forget. So I think there are so many doctors around here, so I think for the purposes of this presentation, I'm a doctor. Yes, I'm very much excited to be here this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you well?
Yes.
You've been very silent. Are you well?
Yes.
You know, I'm the one standing between us and tea, so be nice. And I'll be nice. I'll make sure I do 10 minutes. So thank you very much for having me, Expodium. I really appreciate, and I'm also very excited to be sharing one of my favorite topic, which is change and change management. And basically, the question is, how do we manage the volatilities that come in our businesses through change? How do we leverage on change, on strategic change, to manage volatilities in business? And because I can assure you that there are very few guarantees in life. There are very few guarantees in life. There's a gentleman by the name Benjamin Franklin. He was one of the founding fathers in US, and he said that there are no certain things in life. There are no certainties in life except death and taxes. So I don't know how true that is, and I think our good doctor has explained a little bit about that. But I'm not here to speak about death and taxes. I want to submit to you one thing that is sure, one thing that is certain, one thing that you can expect in your business, not just in your business, but in your personal life, which is change. Somebody say change. I like engagement. I like feeling you. So I'm going to be engaging you, so, just flow with that. Yeah, so if there is one thing that is going to be certain about your business and your personal life, is change. As long as there shall be life, there shall be change. As long as there shall be life, there shall be change. So it's very important we know how to deal with it, how we leverage on change to make the best out of it and grow our businesses. And we have witnessed in the past few years, actually, because in the last, I think, 50 years of our business, of our world, even as a country, there's been a lot of technological changes, a lot, more than ever in other times in history. Just the last 50 years is when we've had all this explosion of technology. Since the advent of www in the late 1970s, we've had a lot of disruptions. Every area of business, whether it is banking, whether it is the health sector, every manufacturing, education, every area has been disrupted. And we have seen many companies that actually had products that were household items across the globe. But just in a span of 10 years, there is something that you missed about change. There is something that you missed about a disruption that came into their area of operation. And they are nowhere right now. And they were big giants that time. And we'll be looking at some of them. So it's very important we know how to deal with change and how we leverage on change. There's always a new sheriff coming in town. And today we want to make sure by the end of this presentation, by the end of this summit, we want to make sure that you're always the new sheriff in your field or in your own area of business or area of passion. So number one, the question we're asking is, how do we leverage change to manage business volatility? Number one, it's very important that you know your core business. What is your core business? So that as we speak about change and volatility, there are some things, there are some fundamentals that do not change. There are some fundamentals that should not change. There is the area of change, but there are some fundamentals that should not change in your business. And if you lose them, you lose your business. You lose business and you're out of business. So know the fundamentals in your business. How do you know the fundamentals in your business? What are the fundamentals in your business? You are what? What is your business? What do you do? What is the service that you offer? Know that. Be very clear in your mind. This is what I do. This is the service. Most of the time, we usually don't know how to differentiate between the what, the how we do it. You know, the vision and the mission, we're not able to separate the two. It's very important that you separate that. What is your business? What do you do? Be very clear about that. So that as these changes are coming, you know, this is a fundamental area. This is my core business. This is the area that I can change. So what is your core business? And number two thing that you need to is a fundamental area is, what do I want to achieve? What is your vision? Where are you going with what you are doing? Where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years with what you are doing? With your business, what is your business? If you lose these two, if you lose your what and your vision, you don't have a business. Or you just have a what, your business, but you don't have a vision, then there's no future for your business, and it will not last long. So it's very important that you know these are the things that will not change. As the volatilities are coming, please make sure you hold on to these two. They will keep you going. Your what, you know your business and where it is going. That is your vision. These two you should always know. So that now any other area that is coming, the area of volatility, the area of change is always the how you deliver. That is why you find technology. It comes to the technology, that is just one of them. But these things usually come to make the how, the delivery, how you deliver your products, your what, your products, your services to the customers. The how is always the area of change or the area of volatility. So most of the time, no matter how hard it gets, please do not change your goals. Change the strategy. Change the strategy. And that is usually the area of volatility. So as we speak about business sustainability, one thing that is going to keep you moving is knowing what do I do and my vision. And then now you can be able to work on the strategy. If you try one and it has not worked, try another one. If you try one marketing campaign, it's not working, you are all over social media, yet there's no impact, try another model. Look for another strategy, but do not change your goals. So point number 2, survey the horizon in your area of passion. What new technologies are coming? So always survey the horizon. Do not ignore your competitors. The people in the same field that you are in. Do not ignore what they are doing. Survey the horizon. What are the new technologies that are coming? Always seek to know. Always be on the lookout for what is happening. Otherwise, if you're blind, if you ignore, and I can tell you this was the problem of Nokia. I think around 10 or so years ago, because I'm sure all of us know Nokia, right? Yeah, because this company was, and that's the company I was actually alluding to, about 10 or so, not 10, yeah, 2008 there, or 11 or 15 years ago. I mean, it was a household item. Every home in the world had a Nokia phone. And if you did not have yourself, 2 of the family members had. It was big, and especially here in Africa, other parts in the world as well. But what happened in the technological space, in the tech space, for the last 10 years, there's been a lot of software innovation. They were very good with the hardware. But then in that space, the mobile space, they came the softwares, the Android, the what, and I think they ignored it a bit. So in 2003 when they were bought by Microsoft, it was very sad to see the CEO crying and said, you know, we didn't do anything wrong, but we lost. You don't have to do anything wrong. And he was crying, and every employee was crying there as they were being now acquired. They saying we've been acquired by Microsoft. Our mobile business line has been acquired by Microsoft. And he was crying, he was in tears. And you don't have to do anything wrong. You just need to ignore what your competitors, what is coming into your industry. And it doesn't matter how big you are, how big you're playing, or how low you're playing. If you ignore that, then you will find that very shortly you'll be out of business. Now they're trying to come back. Now trying to get back a market is harder, but it's still possible. So do not ignore what is happening in your area of business, in your area of passion. Survey the horizon, align yourself with it. Align with yourself with the change that is coming. And let me ask you a question now. Forget about Nokia. Now just here in our doorsteps, we had, how many still use the ever-ready batteries? Ever-ready batteries. Thank you, you didn't disappoint. Yeah, so ever-ready batteries, let me tell you, that was a big company. Since I think independence or whenever they came to the country, they were doing very well. Why? Because we didn't have electricity. Electricity was just in the, in the city centers and very few homes. So they were doing very well. And one of the key campaign promises of former President Munyi was to bring electricity to every home, isn't it? So they formed the Rural Electrification Authority. And as they were doing this, every sales managers were doing very well. In fact, they were making sales everywhere. Then, so Rural Electrification Authority became a cabinet memo. It's still being worked on. And because it looked like it's very big, every homestead will have electricity. It looked very big. So for them, they did not look at the area and say, well, if every home will have electricity, where does the market for batteries go? They never really thought about it. They just thought, we are big, no one can. So they kept on doing their stuff. They kept on selling. They never aligned themselves with it. Now, to cut the long story short, in the period of about 3 or 4 months then, it already became gazetted. The Rural Electrification Authority is gazetted. So it was established and they started rolling out, and that is when now when they realized things are tough, they put an IPO. So that they spread the risk to the rest of us. And because most of us, we don't even look where we are investing, most of us went and bought these shares. If you're here, please forgive me. But I don't think you're doing too bad with those shares. I don't think so. But the thing is, today I think they're doing other things. I don't know what, but they're doing other things. They really got out of this because they did not align themselves with the change that happened. And for you as a business, no matter how small you are, when you see a change that is coming in your area of business, please align yourself with it. Point number 3, very quickly, invest more in research and development, R&D. Research more in R&D. If you look at the richest companies in the world, in fact, even the Silicon Valley, when you look at companies like Facebook, Microsoft, all of these companies, which other one is this one? This richest man? Amazon, Alibaba, all these companies, they invest a lot of money. One of their largest budgets goes to R&D. They are always looking for young people, and they work with young people because young people have new ideas, energy, they dream, they think outside the box that we were getting told about. So they are always getting new ideas, they are always innovating, they are always getting ahead. And I think if you find that the captains of industries like telecommunication, which one is the leading in telecommunication? Safaricom, yes, it's Safaricom. Just go and look at their budget in R&D. They're always inviting young people, developers, where are you? Come so that they give them ideas. In fact, even I had the M-Pesa, the M-Pesa innovation was by a young person. Yeah, and it has taken them very far. It has kept them ahead of their game. I mean, they pull the strings and everybody else is just responding, they're marionettes. So it's very important to invest in research and development. And perhaps you're here and you're thinking, I have a small business. When you speak of research and development, it sounds astronomical. No, you just make sure you are researching in the area of your business. Online, we are living in the 21st century. There's a lot of, it's characterized by knowledge and information, isn't it? If you want to know anything about what you're doing, just go online, you'll find it. So there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of information. Seek to know what is happening. That will be research for you. At least research and know what's happening and develop, get new ideas. Work with people years. R&D will keep you ahead of the game. R&D will make you always make you the new sheriff. So you will not have to fear anyone else coming in your space. So invest more in R&D. Point number four. Invest in your staff. And this one we have been told before, invest in your staff. Invest in your staff. Because there is no way you're going to do everything for yourself in the business. You will not do it. And that's why we're being told, can your business live past you? When you go on holiday, your business goes on holiday. When you come here for the conference, the whole business is here. So it's very important, invest in your staff. Always motivate your staff so that and make them partners of your vision. Make them partners of your vision so that it doesn't have to, you're not the only one who is holding your vision. It has a system. And to do that, you will need people for your business to outlast, to live past 10 years. For most of us, perhaps most of us, we have been in businesses that have been there for 10, 20 years, perhaps. Some of us maybe have just started, just 1, 2, 3 years, which is okay. But if your business will outlive, will become like a Microsoft, I don't know, it's 50 or so years. In fact, let me tell you something. I'm reading a book called Built to Last, and I recommend you look for this book. If you want to build a lasting company, if you want to go beyond all the volatilities of business and survive, look for a book called Built to Last. As I finish, moderator. Built to Last. I think it is by Jim Collins. Yes, Jim Collins, and he has co-authored with somebody else. And in this book, they look at all the companies that have been doing very well, companies that have lasted a century, 2 centuries, and they're still there. How did they survive that? How did they manage to do that? And he speaks about how they've been able to invest in their staff and how they've been able to pass on the vision very well. Pass on the vision across decades, across centuries, and that's how they have managed to be there. They are always on Fortune 500. And I believe we are here so that we can be able to grow entities, business entities that can outlive us, business entities that can live. We can live generation of businesses. So, but to do that, we need to be able to invest in our staff and motivate them. So the last point, create a business culture. Create a business culture. This is how you do things. This is how you do things. This is the way. This is like now I usually see some advertisements out there by Safaricom. We have mentioned it, not me. You have mentioned it. This is the Safaricom way. What is the way of your company? What is your credit? If you read that book, actually, it's very rich, very, very. And one of the things that they point out that has made these companies remain on Fortune 500 for centuries, not just decades, is because they have very strong business cultures. Very strong business cultures. Cultures of excellence. Cultures that seek to give service more than service. They're not looking for customer service. They're not looking for customer experience because that's what we are now. It's a buzzword in the customer service world. They're looking for customer partnerships because that is what is beyond customer experience. When you give them good experience, they become your partners. So you don't have to worry about competition, price wars, cutthroat competition, and what else? And neck-to-neck marketing strategies. You have already formed a partnership with your clients, so they don't think twice about your price. They just need you, your partners. And that is what we seek to build. But we cannot do that if we don't create strong business cultures. Strong business. It's your way, it's the way you do things. It's just to make your service better. Always seek to give more than you promise. I'd rather you under-promise and over-deliver, other than you over-deliver and? Yes, I'd rather you under-promise and over-deliver, other than you over-promise and under-deliver. You say, I can do this, I'll do this so that you get the business, and then you don't deliver. That's how you lose business. That's how you lose trust. That's how you lose business. So the point there is create a business culture that will live, that works for you, and that you make your employees or your staff partners of it, creating a business culture. So we've looked at several points, which I want to just repeat as I finish. So number one, know the fundamentals fundamentals in your business. The what. The what and the, we say the what and the what and the what and your vision. Number 2, we have said survey the horizon in your area of business. What are the new technologies coming up? And then number 3, we said invest more in R&D, research and development. Invest in your staff and create a business culture. Create a business culture. Then it's also important to say that after doing all of these things, because you don't always want to be responding to what other things that are coming from out there. Why don't you just become the disruptor, become the change that you wish to see? If you're seeing a problem in your business, if you're seeing a problem in your field or in your sector, why don't you become the disruptor? This is what I think Equity Bank did about 20 or 25 years ago. By then, and this is the last point, by then I think the banking was an exclusive club for the rich and the elite. Until the equity came, and they said that time they were even a building society, and they realized, no, we need to open up the doors of the banks to everybody, irrespective of their social background, where they come from. And that is what has made them one of the biggest. When you speak about banking today in Kenya, in East Africa, you cannot do a presentation about banking without mentioning that bank or mentioning the founder. So it's, why don't you just become the new kid in the block in that industry of yours, or just disrupt what is happening, because the world is always looking for new things, for disruptions, for be different in whatever it is that you do, and you will always stay on top. You will always stay ahead. You will always stay in business. You will always be you become now synonymous to an industry, not to a business, but synonymous to an industry. And those are the businesses that we want to build. Those are the people, the stories that we want to tell. When we tell the story of Kenya, you should see Kenyans in Europe, in UK, in Australia speaking about Kenya's innovations. Those are the stories we want to tell to the world of how we've been able to build industries where we become synonymous with. Today, mobile banking anywhere in the world is synonymous with Kenya. And then it was just someone's innovation. And you have the same kind of thinking ability that can be able to create such a maverick technology, maverick idea that will change and transform our businesses, our country, our continent, and our businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.